Peace, family. My name is Vicki Dillard for African Diaspora News Channel. Thank you so much for tuning in, family. I have discussed the great nation of Kenya and the president, Mr. Ruto, many, many times. It's been a minute since I've covered them in recent history, but I wanted to discuss something that I found very disturbing recently. Of course, I always like to give the benefit of the doubt, notwithstanding things that appear to me to be very obvious on its face. But I want you to watch this brief clip. Watch this.
Kenyans. Our education is good. Our English is good. Yes. We speak some of the best English in the world. Yeah, that is true. If you listen to a Nigerian speaking, you don't know what. You don't know. You need a translator. Even when they are speaking English, Ama. So we've some of the best human capital anywhere in the world, and we just need to sharpen it with more training.
Okay, family, did you see that? People are calling him disgraceful. That's the reason why that's the title, because others are calling him disgraceful for making that comment. And I have to say, I was disturbed by hearing him say that. Now, the platform I saw this on from Caballo, one of the things he says is interesting here, of course, and it's true about the fact that although Nigeria, which he invoked and disrespected, certainly have their problems. He just made the point here. In fact, I'm going to read it word for word. He says Nigerians have many problems, as we all do, but go to Nigeria and you're more likely to see non-anglicized names. You are more likely to see African people dressed in African attire. And of course, Kenya, unfortunately, he says, because it was a settler colony, has people with English names, people who dress like Europeans, and now fools look like heads of state. And he goes on there. But my thing is this. Number one, yes, how do you think you look, Mr. Ruto? Sitting up there talking about, your education, how wonderful you are with your English speaking self, and then you immediately invoke Nigeria disrespecting another black nation. That's crazy. Now, the thing that's disturbing to me about this is not only the disrespect of millions of Nigerians, but I doubt very seriously you would ever be caught in public or private disrespecting any European like that. And that is because you see them ostensibly as somehow the acme of civilization. Now, I've had many criticisms over the years with Kenya, particularly under leadership of Mr. Ruto, because I found it very problematic that he was willing to send his very, very black soldiers to fight in Haiti on behalf of the United States. And of course, they have their own reasons for that. They claim this, that, and the third. But how many of you all know that the United States and our Western allies know that they cannot send white faces there? So the nation that they found to do the dirty job, in my opinion, was Kenya. That was disgusting to me. When he comes to the United States, and I've done broadcasts about this as well in times past, when he comes here, all kind of white organizations give him all kinds of accolades. It's always a problem when you find white people giving African heads of state all these awards for what? And then we see, and I did a broadcast on this some time back, he talked about entering into a trade agreement with the European Union, and he was doing this little press conference with Ursula von der Leyen with her funny looking self. And Mr. Ruto was just giggling and smiling, and with his beautiful dark melanin skin, all we could see was his lily white teeth smiling real, real hard in the presence of this white woman. And I think later on, we were still waiting for the final trade agreement to come out so we could see what's what. And it just continues to be one thing after another about what many of us considers to be selling out in some way, form, or fashion. Now, you're not cute because you're sitting up here talking about English speaking and then gonna turn around and disrespect Black people on behalf of white folks. You gotta be out of your mind. That is absolutely crazy. And those mindsets are very dangerous because those mindsets are the very ones that are backing certain policies, rules, regulations, and actions by heads of state. And they're not typically in favor of their own. And it's also calling into question other relationships, other connections that may be going on that are not necessarily in the best interest of the continent. Shame, sick comment, in my opinion. No disrespect to the president. I don't want to do that. But we cannot endorse that comment. It is extremely problematic. It is diabolical, in fact, to see some other group of people and their ways and means of being as more important, or as if it's the acme of social sophistication. It is not. And let me tell you something. I am a spiritual teacher, and one of the things that I have talked about in times past is the fact that I believe that they teach you how to spell to keep you spellbound. I said something right there. That was my quote. Of course, it makes sense to have rules so that we're able to communicate in social settings. Of course, that makes sense. But there's a much deeper reason why there's such great emphasis on controlling language, because there's a spiritual implication to that. And what a lot of folks don't understand is how our world is controlled by words, sound, frequency. So a lot of times when they keep you in that monotone, or they reward you and tell you speak proper English, it's because they don't want you to say something in a way that moves them or that causes you to tap into an unseen portal. Baby, I know I said something right there. And I say so much more in my low-cost monthly mastermind school called the Vicki Dillard Mystery School. You can learn more at my website at VickiPlanet.com. That's VickiPlanet.com. My students always get breakthroughs. Beloved, be sure to share this broadcast, and I can't wait to see you again.